I remember the very first time I ever played or saw Mario 64.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
Back, of course, in 1996, my sister and I, we used to rent a Nintendo 64 from this local little game shop that's not around anymore. And her friends and I would just hang out and toss the controller around and just have fun for hours and just laugh and just have so much fun. This was an amazing experience. A first real 3D game where it felt like that you had real control and you were just exploring this huge, ginormous environment. I mean, we'd never seen anything like that before. Back then. Man, this game was great. Back then. The only reason, of course, as to why I bring this up is because, surprise, surprise, if you didn't see the video title, this is another comparison video. So, a while ago, I had actually played the DS remake version of Mario 64. A game I'd wanted to play for quite a while, and I saw it on the Wii U network and decided, hey, why not?
It's me, Mario!
Oh boy. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Mario 64. Mario 64 was the first of its kind. Different 3D environments for you to explore, take on platforming challenges and such, and a wider range of controls. Now Mario gains speed by you just holding down the control stick. He has a wide variety of different jumps, triple jumps, long jumps, backflips, all sorts of crazy shit. Now Mario can even punch his enemies in the face! All that being said, there is a lot that does hold the game back. For instance, the biggest problem with Mario 64 is the camera. It works when it needs to, but other times, good lord, is it bad. It gets stuck on walls, it can obscure your view, and oftentimes be unwilling to work. It's slow to move at times too. It will auto-correct itself, so it's always behind you, which is nice, but it takes away a lot of control that you would prefer to have. But moving around feels good and responsive at times. There are a few occasions where I press the jump button in order to start doing a triple jump, but it just didn't respond. Not sure if that's on the controller or the game. One of the most glaring aspects I can certainly remember about Mario 64 was flying. Flying in Mario 64 sucks. You have practically no control except where you go. Kind of. You constantly have to dive in order to gain altitude and gain some speed. This happens automatically. Just for example, to obtain these red coins, it's almost impossible to try and fly and press up as hard as I can. It'll only let me go so high, and the wing cap will only last so long. I did a test just to see how long I could fly around before I was back on the ground again. When you dive, you go down so fast and quick, and you have no control over it, and before you know it, you're back on the ground. Just kind of takes the joy and the freedom out of flying. Now, and I hate to make it sound like I'm just harping and hating on Mario 64. I don't. It's a game I can still look back on and play and still very much enjoy. It has a lot of different challenges and starts off very fun and enjoyable, and is still a game that I can very much enjoy. Alright, well, now that we got that out of the way, now we gotta talk about Mario 64 DS Remake. My first problem, and I'll explain a little bit more later as we go in, what the fuck is this nonsense? Why am I playing and seeing the game on such a tiny screen? This is my biggest complaint about this version. This limits so much of what you can see in detail in this version, and I couldn't figure out how to change it. Or how to fix it. I went through quite a bit of this game having to deal with this crap. I did learn from a friend and online that you can oh so simply change this option by just pressing the ZR button on the gamepad. You can then change the screen to whatever size, different ratio, split screen, whatever that you want. Okay. This is another problem I have. The game never makes any mention about the fact that you can do that. The game never told me this or anything like that. I wouldn't be so mad and frustrated about that whole thing if at the start of the game, before I even start playing or anything like that, that it had told me, hey, you don't want the screen size? You can change it by just simply doing this. That would have been nice to know. Instead, I played through about maybe an hour or two of the game like this. I died and took so much unnecessary damage because of my limited screen. And oh, with the fixed screen, man, this game looks bad. Now, just for you, up to this point in this video, I will change the game capture so that when you actually see it, it will be resized in full screen so you can see it a lot better. Unlike me, for that alone, yeah, I blame the game. But, let's be fair, let's move on to some positives. I like how they changed the camera for this version. It's fast and easily responsive and controllable. But I hate how they changed the controls. In Mario 64, you just naturally gain speed by holding the stick forward, and it felt good. Here, you only gain speed and run by holding down the Y button. You get used to it, but it makes the rest of the controls more confusing. So in the DS remake version, you start off as Yoshi, and everyone else is missing, captured. Yoshi can't punch, but you can use his tongue on enemies, spitting them at other enemies, or turning them into eggs. Now you duck with the right shoulder button. This makes trying to do the long jump very difficult and complicated. So, I'd like you to imagine this for a second, okay? So, here's your run button, right? And then here's your jump button, and this is the duck button that will allow you to do a few extra moves. Triple jump, long jump, but you gotta do it with the combo of the jump button. But you can only perform, you know, a long jump while you're running. You can't do it while you're just normally walking. So I'd like you to imagine how uncomfortable it is to be holding this down and then to simultaneously try and push the R shoulder and then the jump in order to do that. So why make it so horribly uncomfortable like that? Yoshi still plays like Mario despite his limits. Now some enemies have Mario hats, and when you kill them, you can transform into Mario and do a few things that he can, only while you're in the level. I kinda don't like this because it limits you to doing certain particular things. For example, the Koopa the Quick mission, he won't take you up on the challenge until you change into Mario. Just kind of adds one more chore for you to have to do. But we'll go into that a little bit more later. They did add a few other things that I like. The first boss of the first stage is different too. Now he throws bombs at you and you have to grab and throw them back, making it different and fun, which I like. Even an additional coin mission, now there are red and silver coins, and one of them is on the tail of a chain chomp. That's actually quite clever. But because you're not Mario, you can't confront Bowser even when you have the 8 stars. Why does the game feel the need to lock you off like this? You can't confront Bowser until you find and unlock Mario. And worst of all, I was confused as to where Mario is. Characters in the game tell you that he and the others were last seen in the Bombland painting, but no! He isn't! This is what you're supposed to do, and this is another thing that the fucking game never told me. I'll elaborate. First, you gotta go into Peach's room. There's a series of mini-games and other stuff to do here. Interesting. But by this point, I was already so damn frustrated that I just didn't care. Go to the 8-star door and jump into the Mario painting. This part took even longer because I had no idea where I was supposed to go in order to find the boss. Find the King Goomba, beat him, now you can unlock Mario and switch to him and play those locked parts of the game.
Mario!
But to be honest, by this point I had already played quite a bit of the game, and this locking and then switching mechanic I really didn't like. So by that point, I was done. Why doesn't the game give you the option to change characters just whenever you want? Why does the game feel the need to change the controls and make them more uncomfortable? Why limit you to the screen size at the start of the game and never tell you how to change it? Okay, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. You know, maybe if I had just taken my time and just learned how to play the game a little bit, and I probably could have gotten used to the controls a little bit. I mean, I kind of did. They were still relatively uncomfortable, but, you know, it's not that bad, right? No, actually it is, because the truth is that after I played this version, I was so annoyed and pissed off, I actually went onto the Wii U network and downloaded original Mario 64, and guess what? That version was so much better than the remake. Fuck you, Nintendo. But that being said, I am looking forward to the Nintendo Switch.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this, or go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you'd like to check out more, I have a link in the description for my channel, and also for my Patreon page, and I would really appreciate it if you were interested in contributing something or anything. Check out one of my other reviews, be it my Indie Zombie series, where I look at indie games from the Xbox 360, or from just various other consoles and systems. Or check out one of my vlogs, or one of my various other reviews. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time.